Good evening, Randomizer fans. Welcome to the Monday, August 23rd, daily race here on Speed Gaming 4, the Speed Gaming family of channels. We are doing a casual boots race today. We have Zeruvian, Days Cloud, Lucian Grief, Homemade Beers are featured runners tonight, as well as 24 others bringing up the rear. I am joined today in the booth by the OK Guy.
Well, hello, Claymore. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Pretty excited to see this race. Look at the key code, at the seed key. It's boots, flippers, bottle flippers. I really like that. I don't know why. I just enjoy it.
That's a little ominous. How are you going to wear boots and flippers at the same time?
Well, it makes sense. One for each foot.
You have 4 feet.
And we are off.
Okay, and we do have just bombs in the first chest, but this is a casual boot seed, so we do have a sword to start with, and we are going to get something at the uncle. And I don't remember if it's a random pool of weapons or we're guaranteed to get the sword here. I don't remember this mode.
Oh, I'm not sure, but I think we're about to find out. Looks like a heart piece. No, not a guaranteed weapon.
Oh, nope. There we go. There's a sword.
Yep. So getting those bombs in Link's house is actually really nice. Since they start with boots in the back of Escape, they don't have to worry about finding bombs or bombing it open. They can just bonk it, and then they can save all those bombs for Kakariko Village here in about 6-7 minutes.
Exactly. We are going to see our runners do the front and back of Escape just because it's what you kind of have to do in this mode. This is a standard-ish opening, meaning that Zelda is locked in the cell and we have to go get her before we can be released to the rest of the game.
That's right. Ooh, Zeruvian taking a hit there. It's really nice. They've already got 4 hearts. That's really nice whenever you start going to like South Shore, where you run into crabs and they do 2 hearts of damage at a time.
Absolutely, and those crabs seem to love being exactly where you want to be, meaning that you probably will take a hit or two as you're moving up to the Ice Rod Cave.
That's right. All right, coming up on another item. Well, we got to kill this guard first.
And then another garden here.
Yep, good old poke spin strats, really nice. Another heart piece, lots of love in this Escape so far.
It's a rather healthy seed so far. Not that our runners are likely to be complaining about it.
No, not at all. Especially if you don't find mail. It could be really nice to have a surplus of health early on. Oh, especially if you find Dark World access super early, which, having the glove already, we're just a pearl and hammer away from Dark World access.
Yeah,
long way from that, but still.
But with the item out of the back of Escape, we are, or out of the front of Escape rather, we are diving to the back of Escape now, with the princess in tow. And we're going to move through the Hyrule sewers and into the sanctuary, and we're going to see what we get there in about 3 minutes. Yeah,
that's about right. As they're going through the sewers, in standard mode, you are given a temporary lamp until you save Zelda. After you leave the sanctuary, you won't have a lamp. You'll have to find one if you want to traverse dark rooms, or you could just dive into them without one if you're brave enough. But they will have one temporarily while they're heading through the sewers.
Yeah, that's just to make sure that if you're not skilled with navigating dark rooms, then you can at least get through the dark rooms in Escape without having to learn them.
All right, we're in the throne room. Well, Zeruvian is. He's the first one into the dark. I always really enjoy this room full of snakes, the snake hallway. They always create a wall that just get in your way, but with boots and a sword, no problem, dash straight through them.
Yup. And we are We are hearing from our tracker, or one half of our tracker team, that in standard mode, you will always have the lamp cone in the sewer area, no matter whether you've rescued Zelda or not. Just, I guess, as he says, just in case you don't get bombed and you have to go back through in order to access.
Oh, very nice.
Anything back there.
Very nice. So if you do intend on coming back here, maybe in another standard mode, that makes a lot of sense. All right, 3 items in the back. Here, let's see what we get. Also, I didn't know. Oh, hey, speaking of the lamp and powder, did you notice that those flippers in the dark there? I pointed out that seed key, the 2 boots, the 2 flippers. Well, look at that.
Oh, they must have gotten the flippers out of the dark. Having access to the back of Escape, these 3 chests right now is kind of big because these 3 chests, because it's significant amount of time or item investment to get back here later, these items can end up orphaned deep into a seed, and I have seen cases where a runner has just left an item back there that was crucial, and it ended up costing them a significant amount of time. And we had a map check from Homemade Beer. Red crystal in Eastern Palace, blue crystal in Desert Palace. I did not catch Tower of Hera.
I did not see it either. All right, Bonk Rock check. Right off the bat with the easy free logic from starting with boots. $20. Nice. A little bit of money is going to go a long way. You're going to need some for Kakariko Village. 100 rupees for the...
more than 20, unfortunately.
Yeah, but there's plenty of places to farm. Oh, hey, look. Zeruvian with the lamp and the glove immediately going for the mountain plate. I like this. It gives you an extra save and quit menu, as well as giving you 2 items and some intel on what's up on the ledge.
Yeah, this is actually a not a terrible play from Zeruvian. Dazed Cloud is taking another approach. Dazed Cloud is going south shore to the Ice Dog Cave. And we are going to see a fake flipper. Actually, no, we're not. We had the flippers.
Real flippers.
We're probably going to see a buffered storage of a Boots fake flipper. Here in the cave here.
I believe so. Yes, sir. So Dazed Cloud is standing on the edge of that pit and then dashing directly out of the cave without touching anything else. Now, whenever he jumps off of a south-facing ledge, not that little dock there, but he will immediately go into water walking right here. So now he's dashing on the water very fast. With the boots, this is one way to get it. You can also get it if you have the Moon Pearl and you fake flipper into the fairy fountain, but that's neither here nor there. Let's see what the hobo has.
And as M4A in chat is saying, we are experiencing a significant divergence of runners going to every corner of Hyrule. Zeruvian finding the mushroom from somewhere while we were looking at Dazed Cloud's stream, turned to get in just for $20. Not entirely the trade he was probably hoping for.
Yeah, and then Dazed Cloud getting $100 from the hobo. He lives under a bridge. He doesn't need it.
And that $100 is going to come into play very soon when Dazed Cloud makes his way over to Kakariko. It's not going to give him enough money, unfortunately, to grab the Zora item, but Dazed Cloud is going to get a look at the item on Zora's Ledge, and he may actually be able to do this in... right, flippers. I'm so not used to having flippers this early. I'm used to having to explain the fake strats.
That's right. He gets to just enjoy himself and swim right there without wasting the time to set up fake flippers. A moment ago, Zeruvian I think he was trying to set up the hula hand glitch where you can get a good chunk of money early on, but he jumped into the grave hole that leads you to the back of Escape. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but he saved and quit immediately when he fell.
Mm-hmm. So the Hulan room is sort of an error-catching state in the game's code. The game knows where to send you when you fall into a hole based on where the camera is positioned. If you can disjoint the camera from where Link's actual sprite is, by means of getting knocked back by a bomb or doing some jump into water glitches or jump into water positions, Days Cloud will find a Master Sword on Zora Ledge, which is going to be important for him. This is questionable because it does open Agadim.
Yeah.
Which is not what Days Cloud probably wants to see out of life right now.
I doubt we'll be seeing Agadim's Tower anytime soon, but it is a possibility.
Certainly
having
not
the lamp and the Master Sword. Yeah. Well, the Moon Pearl could be on the Pyramid of Power right now.
It could be. And we just won't know that. I was saying about the houlihan glitch. If you disjoint the camera from Link's position and then fall into a pit, the game doesn't know where to send you, and so it sends you to the houlihan room with 225 rupees as sort of a failsafe.
Yep, it's a really good money farm early on for Zora. I have no idea where Homemade Beer got the hammer from.
This is a kind of a problem with Grand Sea diversions. You are looking at a couple people, and you don't know where some people find things.
It was right here in the well, the first chest. Zeruvian just grabbed it himself. I like the wherewithal from Homemade Beer to immediately take that hammer and powder combo, and he also found Titan's Mitts in the library.
God. Okay.
But to go straight to Batcave with it. I really like that. Just immediately route there. It's almost like the seed's telling you to go there. Oh
yeah, and if you that is another I mentioned about orphaning location in the Back of Escape. Batcave is another location that gets orphaned an awful lot.
Yep, especially like Dark World without mirror, and you're trying to do the frog. What does he turn into? Like a little gnome?
Yeah,
the blacksmith. The blacksmith. The dwarf. That's what it is. Thank you.
Homemade Beer is going to take these bombs from the race game. Questionable, I suppose, but he's already there, so I may as well.
Yeah, instead of jumping down and running out to see what it was, he just immediately went through the race game.
Yep.
Dazed Cloud, heading with his Book of Medora, his Fire Source, his boots, to the Desert Palace. I like this place.
Desert Palace. Yep, the game is, like you said, the game is telling you to go here. The game has what we call logic, which means that the game obviously knows where the items are placed, and so if you can read the items the game is giving you, you can know where you can reasonably expect your next progression to be. In this case, since we had the Book of Medora, a lift item, and a fire source, and significant weaponry, the game is telling us you should go to Desert Palace because you can beat it.
Oh, thank you for pointing out. Yeah, the glove as well. That's literally everything you need for this dungeon. Dazed Cloud finding a medallion. It looks like Ether. It's one of the three. We don't know if they're going to need any of these yet, but more than likely, yes. I think they will.
Yes, the medallions in the vanilla game, Ether Medallion, is used to open the Misery Mire dungeon, but in Randomizer, it can also be used to open Turtle Rock. So it is a fair probability that at least Ether will be needed for something.
Yep, that's right. I mean, it could also just be a throwaway item that never gets used. We'll have to wait and see. We have no idea yet.
We will simply need to see.
Okay, 3 of our runners have hook shot. 2 of them are on the mountain with it. I like this a lot.
Yep, we got $20 up on Spectacle Rock, and we have $5 inside. So, no love for Spectacle Rock this seed.
No, none yet. Multiple high fives from Zeruvian and Homemade Beer here. I bet they end up doing this quite a bit, just back and forth. With that hammer and fire source, as well as hook shot, this puts Hera in play as well. They have to go the long way around, which is fine because they want to grab all of these wonderful chests that are in here. On top of that, without having the mirror on Death Mountain and having Titan's Mitts, they're going to have to route very precariously to not leave anything behind or not have to climb the mountain a second time. Well, a second time right now.
Yeah, because the mountain climb is not fast, even with boots and the hook shot and spin speed to kind of help you out.
That's right. All right, a whole bunch of chests here to open. Dazed Cloud finishing off these 3 worms. Let's see what he gets. A heart piece for his troubles.
Just a heart piece for Lenmolus. Homemade beer, finding a bee in a bottle, $50, a heart container, another piece of heart, and $20. Not the best pull from Paradox, but not the worst either.
Yeah, not terrible. It does add an extra item to be found from the sick kid getting that bottle. So we have our first fetch quest. Well, actually, there was the mushroom with the witch earlier. Second fetch quest, that's right.
And in the meantime, Dazed Cloud is going right into Agina's cave, and we're going to see what we get from here.
Good bomb jump from Zeruvian.
Getting dead rocked a little bit and finding a heart container on the floating island.
Woof. Gotta love dead rocks. They zip around everywhere, and when you try to slash at them to get them out of your way, yeah, just every time. Now, something that I want to point out here is neither Zeruvian or Homemade Beer have that Master Sword. So if they go and check this Ether Tablet to the left of Tower of Hera here, they can read what's on it with the Book of Medora, but they cannot get it without the Master Sword.
Yes, which might come back to haunt them, depending on what it is. And we're not going to know that until they exit Tower of Hera. And we're going to see something called a Hera pot from Homemade Beer. By the... Okay, I was going to say a bomb, but apparently you don't need a bomb.
No, you can use hook speed to set it up, but that was very fast. He didn't use any pause buffers or anything. Just straight into the pot to teleport to the top. And there's an ice rod. Ooh. Zeruvian's going for it himself.
Zeruvian trying the bufferless strat as well. Let's see if he can get it.
You really need a stiff D-pad that won't throw away your diagonal movements. Oh, it looks like he's going to set it up with the bomb.
Yep.
He's probably more comfortable with this.
A lot more consistent, a lot more reliable.
Homemade Beer going for the 3 hammer on this silly caterpillar that likes to knock you down.
Yep, he just likes to knock you down and knock you down and knock you down and never let up.
Ooh, Zeruvian, I believe at this point he should just head on down.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you're going to lose more time than you save, and unfortunately, by the time you miss it a third or fourth time, you're probably going to not save time by doing so.
Yep.
And the item count in Tower of Hera means that there's an item left behind in the big chest, which means that Zeruvian is going to get the big key here, which means he's going to get that item knowledge where our other runners are leaving behind.
Yeah, Homemade Beer, he's waiting out this tile room as well. I bet he'll go for another teleport to the top using the Hera pot method. It's kind of unfortunate, but sometimes you have to go to Hera basement, even with this new tech that's been found.
Yep.
I've got to say, the tile room in Hera, when you are forced to do it, it's my favorite room because you can take a drink, you can pop your knuckles if you need to. It's a great little break room, even though
we're not
taking the break. Yeah,
we're not seeing it on Homemade Beer side, but we saw it on Zeruvian's. If you trigger the pegs to come up, and you're standing on them, you'll be given invulnerability for the duration of time you're on them. Which means you could just stand there and, like the OK guy said, you can have a drink, crack your knuckles, whatever you can fit into the time.
Little break room, yeah. I like it a lot. Homemade, going for another spin speed or
guaranteed going for another
hook speed. Hera pot. So
making
fast.
It look easy.
Wow, very good. You can tell he has put in the time and put in the work to practice that.
Oh yes.
Hey, Zeruvian, he gets it himself. It took him a few tries this time, but very clean. Oh, 10 arrows for all that time.
Oh well. But hey, at least now it's not going to be in the back of the mind forever.
That's right. When you one item away from go mode and you have these chests left behind, You don't want to be climbing up to Hera.
Oh,
hey,
no,
there you
that
go.
is the worst.
Okay, homemade beer heading back to Eastern Death Mountain. This is what I was talking about, how you have to really... I love this hammer dash. You have to stop before you get to those pegs, though, or you'll bonk. You have to really route in an odd manner when you don't have mirror, but you have Dark World access on the mountain. It's real easy to mess it up.
Yeah, routing is a perennial enemy of our runners, and we're getting a pedestal check from Dave's Closet
Yes.
in 1948, and unfortunately, it's just couch cash this time.
Yep, dead ped. We do not need to see that. It's good to know, though. I'm glad we know it.
Yes, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to randomizers, because that tells Dave's Cloud that he can ignore potentially the Dark World dungeons that hold the red and blue pendants. It's entirely possible that an item is still going to be in there that he needs, but he knows that he won't need to clear the boss.
Yep. There's potential for skipping the bosses if they don't have the last item. You just count the items in, like, say, Skull Woods only has 2 items. If it's a pendant dungeon, you find those 2 items before the boss. You don't have to fight the boss. Just get on out of there. Red and blue pendants are completely useless in this pedestal, or in this non-pedestal seed.
And we're getting our look at the Lumberjack Ledge. It is a bottle. So it's going to be in the back of Dave's Cloud's mind, but probably not going to go defeat Aghanim for it.
Probably not. Having Hammer... Well, we don't have Pearl yet. Depending on where they find Pearl, I could see a move for Spike Cave possibly playing out. I hope there's something at Spike Cave. I'll just come out and say it. I'll just be honest. I hope there's something at Spike Cave.
So the reason we know that is because that lumberjack, the 2 lumberjacks cutting down the tree off to the left, they will finish with their task after you defeat Aghanim, meaning that then you can bonk into it and clear it open and get in there for the item. Now, we saw from Zeruvian's side, we see his graphics not quite behaving well in here. We are in Super Bunny Cave, and Zeruvian is in what we call Super Bunny State, meaning that he is a bunny, but he regained the ability to do a couple things that you can do as normal Link, namely opening these 2 chests. Yep. It is a play that you see relatively often in more competitive randomizers, simply because it's 2 items that you can get just at your leisure.
Yep, it is a little bit of a sequence break. So if you find some progression, you kind of have to backtrack the logic to think of where what you would have had to find to get there in the first place. There's a few ways to set up the Super Bunny. That one is as simple as falling in a pit. You get the dash and open chests. It's really nice. Really, really easy Super Bunny.
And yes, if you're playing along at home, we have the Ether Tablet check, Sahasrala's back closet, Green Pendant turn into Sahasrala, and the first few items left in Eastern Palace before we may need to make that Aga play.
Yeah, there's still a lot of loose ends to clear up before we head to the Dark World without the Pearl. Going up that tower, it is a huge waste of time if you don't need to. If you get yourself some Dark World access without it, if they can find the Pearl in any of those locations.
Yep.
That's all they need. Looks like everybody is finally retracing each other's steps. This is something that happens pretty often, especially in the light world. You just you end up bottlenecking, and everybody kind of covers each other's tracks. Nobody has a lead on anybody, really, at this point.
Trying to find that whatever item that you don't have that you need in order to make progression. That Albatross was just gunning for Zeruvian.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look at that! What Dave's Cloud just found in the Ether Tablet.
Ooh, that Moon Pearl we were just talking about.
Yeah, I just realized Homemade and Zeruvian didn't even have the book because they hadn't. Oh, Zeruvian just found it in the fairy fountain. Gets himself a free red pot, but finding that book, I wonder he might last location that progression into Dark World.
He may well. He's going to get the Master Sword here, and that might. He's already been up to Tower Hera.
Yeah,
Does
it
he
might
go
push
back?
him. I could see him maybe dipping eastern, especially with that green pendant in tow. You can get an extra item from Sahasrara. Have we seen the back of Sahasrara's hut?
No,
I don't believe we have.
Nobody's even gone over there yet.
Okay, so that's 4 items there, and then possibly three, guaranteed 2 items in Eastern Palace. But without Bo, can't get to the back.
Yep.
Oh.
So the question is, as you say, when does Zeruvian go? When does Zeruvian go back to Tower Hera, or back out to the Tower Hera area to collect that moon pearl off the tablet? Did he even check the tablet? I don't think he did.
Yeah, he didn't have the book because
right,
he got the Master Sword and the book, both which are required for the tablet checks.
Yep.
Yeah. So it looks like Lucian and Dazed are going to get a little bit of a... Well, actually, wait. Lucian is in the Dark World. So unless he climbs the mountain again.
Lucian's just backtracking with Super Bunny. But Dazed Cloud is the one with the advantage here.
That's right. Yeah, but Lucian does have Master Sword and book. I don't know. We'll see.
It's still a water race ahead of us, but Dazed Cloud has a noticeable lead. I won't say significant. I won't say commanding. I'll say he has a lead.
Yeah, Zeruvian. He's going to look at the lumberjack item here in Anxiety Tree. So this means that it is on his mind. Aghanim Tower is on his mind right now.
And it just got deprioritized a little bit, but he's still going to be thinking about it. And while runners are sort of running over each other's footsteps right now, go ahead and give them a follow. They're putting on a real great show for us, and we wouldn't be here if not for them.
That's right.
While you're at it, Arturo and Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna are in our backseat, keeping us honest and keeping us all on track.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. I can barely watch one person and keep up with what they're finding. And these guys are good. Gotta appreciate them. Ooh, Dazed Cloud going straight to open up this portal into Turtle Rock. He's going to know what medallion he needs for it. We're also probably going to get to see our first Dark World map. Ooh, Quake. Quake required to get into T-Rock.
Yep. Blink and you miss it. We're going to see a map check here soon, but...
Okay, it looks like red pendant at Ice Palace, and then the blue pendant at Palace of Darkness. That is a rough one.
And I think I saw the red pendant somewhere as well.
Ice Palace and Pod. I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what it was.
Unfortunately, nothing in Hookshot Cave worth mentioning at all.
Nope. Now, after he does Super Bunny Cave here, I imagine he'll run all the way to the west and check out that spike cave that I was talking about earlier. I don't think he has a way to get all the way through it. No, he's not. He's leaving. He doesn't have anything in his bottle. Yeah, he doesn't have anything in his bottle.
With that half magic in his pocket, though, I mean,
yeah, half magic.
Finds the caper, the Cane of Burna, he could do it.
Yeah, then it is definitely in logic. It's like the seeds screaming at you. Hey, Dazed Cloud is heading into the Dark World. We're gonna get to see Hype Cave. All right, everybody get hype. I'm betting it's at least like a 6 out of 10 Hype Cave. Like better than average. Better than average.
Been generous so far. I'm not gonna call that.
I want to see something like a mirror or a bow. you know,
That would
a
be pretty
big
high.
progression item. Yeah.
So far, we got bombs, we got a piece of heart, we got a full heart, and we got another piece of heart.
Woof. That is a, with blue mail already and all that health, that is a, maybe a 1, maybe a 2.
That is not what you want to see. I mean, the runners aren't going to turn down health, but they didn't want it.
Yeah, a full heart container is okay. That's the only reason I would give it a 2. I mean, full heart container, why not? There are some enemies that hit pretty hard in this game, even with blue mail.
And Days Cloud's going to visit Stompy and then trek up through the Village Outcasts and get our first look at the front of Thieves Town.
Yep, with those Titan mitts on his hand, he doesn't have to backtrack here. You can just go straight up into the Village of Outcasts. After, of course, checking the digging game.
Everybody's favorite pastime outside the Village of Outcasts.
Oh, yes. Let's see how well he digs. Let's count the clinks up. If you try to dig in the same hole more than once, the shovel bounces right off of it. Video game physics. No clinks and a big old chunk of money.
I mean, not the worst thing in the world. None of our runners have hit up Zora, so with that $1,200 in his back pocket, he is not wanting for money.
A couple of missed hooks there from Dazed Cloud.
Nothing worth talking about in Sahasra, I don't believe.
No. But it looks like we're going to see an Eastern play. That Ether Tablet holding the Moon Pearl, and then to even get into that, the flippers were what pushed the logic. You take the flippers and go to the fountain to get the book, and then you go up past Zora for the Master Sword. It's kind of poetic. Unfortunately, it's leading a couple of our runners astray.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is where you needed to be.
I like how droll this Eastern Palace is for homemade beer.
Yeah, it's a lot grayer than I remember it being.
He is using a color swap. It's part of the randomizer. You can choose to use it if you want. Much like you see Dazed and Lucian having different colored hearts. It's just a little quality of life, fun, meme style thing. It doesn't change anything else. I personally like the different colors, the different palettes. Especially this gray one for Eastern. It's kind of nice. Calming. Oh, what was in the chest game just now? I missed it.
It was a piece of heart.
Yuck. Okay, here we go into Thieves Town for Dazed Cloud. There are 4 items to be had in this dungeon. He has the hammer, so he can full clear right now, and that will get him a crystal.
Smoky and Bakey in the first 2. That is a decent routing option. Or decent routing layout, sorry.
Yeah, Eastern Palace. Ooh, just the fire shield.
That means you do have knowledge of all 3 shields in the game.
That's right. We'll be seeing some mirror shields pretty soon. And we know that T-Rock is required, so that laser bridge will be no problem much later in this race.
The Cane of Berna is the one non-dungeon item that we found so far, meaning that we have 3 potentially valuable items left to find.
Oh, that also, again, I hate to go back to it again, but Cane of Birna, the half magic, a bottle, maybe 2 bottles if you want to go beat Aga and go out of your way for all that. I think Spike Cave is in play.
You're right. You may not even need the extra bottle with half magic and Cane of Berna.
That's right.
And that means that Spike Cave might have the next piece of the puzzle for Dazed Cloud.
Nice little diagonal boomerang there for Dazed Cloud. Getting caught up in that terrible conveyor room. It either goes perfect or it goes real sour real fast.
Homemade Beer grabbing the Moon Pearl off of the Ether Tablet and finally able to close the loop and join his fellow competitors Lucian and Dazed Cloud over in the Dark World.
Yep, he jumps down immediately, portals. Look what he is doing. All right.
Oh, this is an interesting play. Oh yeah, that's right. He grabbed the red goo, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. He might have gotten the freebie as well from the fairy. If you have empty bottles in your inventory and you walk up to one of the fairy fountains, you just throw it in. Oh, bombs! Womp womp.
Aw, there
Womp
goes
womp.
our. Yep, there goes us. Oh well.
Now he'll. Oh, I expected him to go straight back to the mountain for. Oh yeah, he's saving quitting. Homemade beer is probably going to go right back to the mountain and check Hookshot Cave, as well as find out what medallion is required for Turtle Rock. So let's gather ourselves here. What all us as spectators?
Find the bow in Thieves Town. That's a major play for Days Cloud.
I was about to say, what all items do we need for game completion? That is one of them. The bow, the fire rod. We're going to need the flute as well, and the mirror.
And the cane of Samaria.
Yeah. Oh, Samaria. Quake. We're going to need Quake. Yeah. Boy, there's a lot of stuff. A lot of seed left. You know? Days Cloud coming into the blind fight. This fight can get really out of hand, but if you've practiced it, she does the same thing every time. If you do the same thing every time, with just little differences here and there. Oh, Quake was found. Lucian has Quake.
Where did Lucian find Quake? I missed that entirely.
Blacksmith.
It was a blacksmith turn-in. We see how the blacksmith turn-in. Okay.
Now,
well, while we were focusing on the left side, the right side was where the action was.
That's a good question. So the flute is a weird logical requirement. If Misery Mire, the bottom left of Dark World, if that is a crystal dungeon, you have to get there, and the only way to get there is with Titansmiths and the flute. Well, as well as like Pearl, but you know. Homemade Beer has himself the blue suit. He has Master Sword, blue mail, and it's just blue and gold. It's so nice.
It does look very nice.
Yeah,
very
it does.
sharp.
The banana hat. Zeruvian, hot on his tail. Oh wait, he didn't do Super Bunny earlier, so he has to go and check that. Days Cloud checking King's Tomb. Little trick here, you're supposed to bonk on it to open it up, but if you hold out your sword and just walk into it and tap the dash button, you immediately open it. Good routing from Days Cloud. After he checks King's Tomb, he's going to jump into the water and go straight to the witch's hut and turn in this mushroom. We know it won't play out, but it's still, he's mitigating time loss from these checks, even though they're not paying off.
Yeah, and when it comes to randomizers, with the checks that are all around Hyrule Kingdom, the name of the game is really mitigation, because you're going to be checking things, so it's all about how can I do it as fast as I possibly can.
Yep. A really common one, to give you guys the idea, is like if you're in Dark World with Mirror, when you check Catfish, you could also go check the Fairy Fountain in Zora. You could bundle all that together. Just bundling locations. Homemade Beer, heading into usually one of the first places I go in Dark World when I get access to it, is Skull Woods. Even though he doesn't have the Fire Rod yet, there are still possibly 2 items to find here.
Yes, and unfortunately, Skullwoods isn't a pendant, so he doesn't get to dip out as early as he otherwise might want to. But he knows that if he finds 2 dungeon items, then he doesn't need to do anything but run the boss.
Yep, nice little warp there with the Wallmaster. He doesn't have a mirror, and pushing that statue just takes too long. Pick me up. Well, I guess it's a Ceiling Master, isn't it? But
names don't make much sense in this game. They don't.
Days Cloud bombing Sahasrahla, telling him how he really feels. Mirror for Homemade Beer.
Not a bad pull.
Yeah. He still has another item to find. Having a small key, he can just go straight into this side. Doesn't have to drop down into the hole of one of the holes. Hey, Bombos,
And
there's a second item.
Bombos. Hey, there we go.
Now, here's the question. We have Titan's Mitts, we have Flippers, and we have Bombos. We could
We're
go to
hitting the
Pendant Ice
swamp.
Palace, as well as Hammer, yeah. Well, yeah, you could go into Swamp, but you could go into Pendant Ice Palace if you wanted to.
If you wanted to. But without the Cane of Samaria to allow you to perform the Icebreaker trick, it's going to be a long slog.
Yep, it is a big dungeon. Even with all the speedrun tools of the trade to get through it quickly, it's still a long dungeon. Ooh, Lucian Greeth going through hammer pegs, hammer dashing straight through them. Just tapping the attack or the item button and the dash button on the same exact frame, holding it down, and there you go. It is a Japanese 1.0 exclusive trick in the vanilla, which that is what Randomizer is built upon.
And Homemade Beer pulling the bug net out of the graveyard ledge. Ordinarily, not exactly the most exciting item, but in Randomizer it can have utility because it will let you store fairies in bottles, which it seems mundane, but it can be very useful.
Yep, a fairy in a bottle. When you take an unwanted KO or a death, it will revive you with 7 hearts or some percentage of. I think it's always 7 if you have more than 7 heart containers. Yeah, so it's basically a 1-up if you need it. If you have low health and you're fighting really scary bosses, they can really come in handy. And that's right. You can also use the bug net on Aghanim to knock his energy balls back, which is hilarious.
And we are seeing Homie Beer making the play up to Catfish.
Yep.
And we're probably going to see routing in the Zora check because we didn't see that before. And it's still on Homie's mind.
I would imagine so, yeah. Days Cloud, almost done with Eastern Palace. Grabbing some more arrows so he doesn't run out. Let's see how this Armos quick kill goes.
Oh, forget what I said. Homemade Beer's going into Ice Palace, as you said.
Oh, look at this. The pendant play. And just to remind everybody, only I think Zeruvian is the only one that knows that the pedestal is not required. The Master Sword pedestal, he went and checked it earlier, and it just has some money on it. But there could be progression items in this Ice Palace.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of this. What comes out of this play from Homemade Beer.
Speaking of,
put him ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say. Speaking of Dark World pendant dungeons, Days Cloud is heading south of Eastern Palace, jumping this portal. I bet he goes to Pod, or maybe he just likes this portal.
Just where Lucian Greeth is also going to Pod.
Yep.
It is a very pendant play.
These guys are making the gambles, and you got to give them credit.
Yeah, the gambles are real right now, and they could pay off, or they could represent just a gigantic waste of time. We don't know until we see all the chests.
All right. First chest of Palace of Darkness. This chest, if it's not a small key, it's not, it's arrows. We know that this dungeon is bow locked, so you have to go and get that bow from Thieves Town before you can even get in here, without some shenanigans, of course. There are ways to get to the back of Palace of Darkness without the bow, but logically, it is locked. I could see something being in here.
What we're going to see here is we're going to see a room coming up, just in 2 rooms that have enemies called mimics in them, and you can only defeat them with the use of the bow. And it will remain, the door at the north there will remain locked until you defeat the enemies, which is why this room is considered bow locked if that chest doesn't have a key in it.
Yep. And even if you didn't have the bow and you sequence broke your way back here, say Helmasaur King, the boss of Palace of Darkness, say he has an item because you've been counting the chest as you're going through the dungeon, you wouldn't be able to get back to him because there's a small puzzle in the back of the dungeon that requires the bow as well.
Mm-hmm. So breaking the bow lock won't complete the dungeon for you. It will give you a couple of items, but it's not what you need to be doing.
Okay, heart piece for homemade beer. Ice Palace isn't looking great so far. There are 3 items, I believe, to be found in this dungeon. There is the compass. Ooh.
Not great.
All right, Vanilla Big Key. The chest of the Big Key is located in Vanilla for Lucian Greethier. It's a small key. Good routing through Palace of Darkness for him. I think Daze Cloud is taking a pretty similar routing method to it. No, not quite.
Yeah, they look to be almost following each other's footsteps.
Ooh, we have some sync going on here. Always enjoyable. Zeruvian, I like this. I said that ether medallion might not ever get used if it's not required for for one of the 2 dungeons that you need medallions for. Nope, he comes into this first room of the back of Skull Woods. He's not dealing with these mummies.
He has no time.
Yeah, uses that ether medallion, kills them in their tracks. Okay, no big key yet for these guys, so
It's
we're not
probably
going to see a bomb
probably
jump.
over in the dark maze.
Yeah, it probably is, but you don't want to bomb jump over there, or head through
No.
without it, just in case.
And there it is.
All right.
And
As
there's
well
the
as the
silver arrows.
Silver arrows.
Wow.
Very nice.
Okay. Pendant pod paying off.
Yep. With quality of life at the least right now. It's very good to find. Yeah.
That alone, I would say, is worth time investment.
That is exactly right, Mixcruff Ninja Tuna. That is a bow-locked bow. Homemade beer is coming up on a very dangerous boss, Cold Stare. He does have half magic and a surplus of health, as well as blue mail, so he should be fine.
And as well as Bombos in his pocket.
Oh, he doesn't have Fire Rod. He has to use Bombos, that's right. So that half magic doesn't really matter that much.
Not really.
Master Sword does make it an interesting fight, though.
It will last a little longer.
Yeah. Ooh, trap. Ooh, had him trapped for a little bit.
These puffs can get away from you in a hurry, and with the ice falling from the ceiling, this is a very, very hazardous fight.
Yep. He is opting for spin attacks, which do tempered slash damage. There you go. There's the heal. He was waiting for it. The only problem is when you spin attack, you are stuck in place for those short moments. Ice cubes falling on your head.
Yep. Way worse raindrops, and they hurt a hell of a lot more.
There is the fire rod.
Okay.
Woof.
Bombos logically required Bombos Ice Palace to get the fire rod, which you need for Skullwoods and Turtle Rock.
And that is a full clear of Ice Palace. Because, you know, nobody's going to just go straight to the boss. They're going to clear the entire dungeon. And if they're counting, be like, oh, I'm missing an item.
Yep.
Man, I called it earlier when I said Bombos, Titansmiths, Flippers. That's a rough place to find that. Ooh, good call. That is a required double dip of Skull Woods because that is where the Bombos medallion was found.
Yes. So you'll love / hate to see it. You'll hate to see it if you're a runner, but you'll love to see it if you're a watcher.
Yep. It's nice to have that spectator's knowledge, because then we can see the divergences, and somebody might get hung up on that for a while. I thought that the Moon Pearl would hang a couple of these guys up. Nope, they caught up just fine. See if the same thing happens with the Fire Rod. Lucian Greeth heading through Eastern. Zeruvian going to get his $100 from the hobo. Days Cloud, everybody's covering each other's tracks.
Once again, the convergence is real.
Yep. And then Homemade Beer, he knows that there's not an item back at Skull Woods, so finding that Fire Rod, he doesn't need to rush back there anytime soon. He can go and kill the moth and get himself another crystal anytime he wants, when he's in the area. Right now, he's heading into another dungeon with a whole lot of items, a whole lot of chests. Looks like Zeruvian is following right behind. That is some gross water, Homemade Beer.
Boy, hey, I mean, it's a swamp palace. It's living up to its name at the least.
Yeah, it's Sewer Palace. All right, I think there are 6 items in total in this dungeon. Is that right?
Yeah, whatever the number is, it is way too high.
Yeah, that is a lot of items. A lot of racers, they like to gamble and skip the left side of Swamp because it takes so long to get over there and check 2 items. But I don't see that happening here. There are too many missing items in play.
You know, Homemade Beer is still missing both his bows.
Yep. I'm excited to see, I know it's not entirely new, but it's kind of new to me, some speedrun tech called Diver Down, where you can walk on water in the dungeon. There's a couple ways to set it up.
Yep.
It speeds up the dungeon a good amount, too. I imagine we will see it.
We're definitely going to see it in at least the room that gives you the 2 chests. What happens is that the game is not the greatest at doing multiple things at once. So the game will only check for a water transition in the Swamp Palace if you enter the water from the stairs. So if you can get yourself in a position where you can enter the water, or enter a place where the water logically should be from somewhere else, say through the railing, and just jump off the ledge, the game is like, oh, no water.
Yep, it's just floor. And it does look like Homemade Beer is setting it up. So after he pushes this, he's going to drop a bomb in this room on this crystal, the switch crystal, and then leave the room right before it explodes. So that bomb is still going off in that other room. It's just paused in time. Wait for that fire snake to get out of here. Set up the pixel alignment. Yeah, he still got it. Nice.
Nice.
He had very few bombs. I was a little nervous for that because you lock yourself out of that key by flooding it, and you have to leave the dungeon.
You need to reset the water level, which is not what you want to do. So it is you are committing to Diver Down.
Yep, and without Cane of Samaria, I mean, he knew he could get it with 4 bombs. He only needed that 1, you know? He's got it. Zeruvian following right behind. Good setup. Ooh, clean. Very good. Oh, man.
And that's gotta be Kane.
It is. Got yourself a red cane and then some red rupees. This is interesting. So that means that Zeruvian will, whenever he gets around to it, when he gets to Ice Palace, he will be able to use the Icebreaker tech to make that dungeon just a little bit shorter, having that Samaria.
Yeah, so he's going to be able to pick up a little bit of time. Is it going to make the difference? But it's certainly going to make his life easier.
Yep. All right. Oh, and it's kind of nice. You find Samaria there in the back of a swamp or west side swamp. Hey, the flute. All right. Swamp with the goods. As I was saying, you just get the get Samaria, and then you don't have to worry about doing the diver down with bombs. And tempered. That messes up the blue and gold aesthetic that homemade beer had going on. But oh
That
well.
just means she needs to get the gold sword.
Yeah, that's right.
That'll bring it back.
So anybody just tuning in or anybody that's not following along real well, we are currently in no mode. We know where everything is to beat the game as spectators. Kind of nice. Homemade beer needs his quake. And I think that's it for him. Well, he needs bow, but we know that he's going to run into that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was a quick kill on Vitreous to get the big key to Swamp Palace. Is he going to go back for the item? Probably not. He's gotten all the value he could ever hope to want out of Swamp.
I have to push my glasses up and say, well, actually, that is Argus, not Vitreous.
I'm sorry.
It happens to all of us. You know how often I call Link Zelda? Every day. On purpose. Okay, Dazed Cloud setting up his diver down. He has 8 bombs to work with. Is this our first look at Bombo's tablet?
It is.
Okay,
And
I'm just curious.
nothing of value. Oh well.
Once we're in no mode, I like to imagine the scenarios that can happen for the runners that they don't know where these missing items are. Say Homemade would have found the shovel on Bombos. It's just kind of nice to see those incorrect trails pop up. Homemade's doing some mirror checks here.
Yep, just finishing up the checks a little bit. This is an understandable play. I mean, like I said, these checks get orphaned a lot, and they're going to be sitting in the back of the runner's mind. This is just peace of mind for them.
Yep. I am curious. Has anybody checked the sick kid since getting the bottle?
Nope, none of our recent runners have.
Interesting.
Oh,
okay.
Apparently Dave's did. Whoops.
Nice. Nice. I was curious. Lucian Grief fighting himself Land Molus with the silver arrows. 1 shot each. There's 2 of them down. Little early. Oh, yeah, just sort them. Just get them.
There you go.
Nice. A little bit of cleanup for these guys. Zeruvian doing Smith Chain. Homemade beer right behind him. Thank you guys. Thank you, Arterial.
Like I said, the trackers are keeping us honest.
This is a good time for these guys to be doing the Smith Chain. The only thing that I think maybe should have been done a little different is activating that flute first. That way when you get this purple chest, well, I guess they could just walk over to it. It's fine. Then they could flute down near desert and turn into the purple chest.
I mean, it would take the same amount of time either way. So
yeah, that's right.
Well, actually, no, maybe not.
One,
because you would have the ability to use boots. If you weren't carrying the chest. So, but you know, when you're talking a matter of a couple seconds. So
yep. And it is easy to be like, well, this is what I would do when you're watching. When you're playing, you're trying to do all of this on the fly. So small routing mistakes. It's nothing. It's no big deal.
Oh yeah, and you don't have somebody else in the booth to start bouncing ideas off of. It's
That's
just
right.
You and you.
That is totally right. We know that this chest doesn't have anything of great value, but maybe something. Maybe a gold sword is something we could find.
An extra bottle.
An extra bottle, yeah. Red mail. I don't. Oh no, we have red mail for a couple of these guys. Where was the second second mail at?
Don't remember.
All right, Zeruvian heading into Misery Mire. He'll probably check the 3 items outside first before heading in.
Certainly, he's right in the neighborhood. The 2 in the shed and checkerboard cave in the upper right.
Ice Rod Cave and the Brewer's House. Okay, cool.
Thank you, Arturo.
That is where the mails were. Zeruvian there doing a very easy trick that can even be done in the North American and European releases of the vanilla game. When you're in a cave and you're pushing a block, if you mash the mirror, the block just disappears. It's kind of neat.
Technically, it doesn't disappear. It just turns invisible because, like I said, the game is very, very bad at doing multiple things at once. Just don't try it in a dungeon. The block will still disappear, but you'll be kicked back to the entrance, and nobody wants that.
Yep. You can also use it, or when you're pushing a block, you can also hook shot through it. There's a couple places where that can come in handy. Lucian Greeth being called into Spike Cave. I would have came here too. I cannot blame him.
This is a completely understandable play.
Oh, Zeruvian, he was so close to killing everything in the second room of Mire before those Wizrobes disappeared. The one cycle Mire.
Yeah, the one cycle Mire room is nice.
Very, very cool room. Misery Mire has 2 items to be found, but they do need to also find the big key to get to the end. Some dungeons you can just go straight to the boss. No need to look for that big key, but oh, the cape. That's fun.
I mean,
yeah, meh. Silver's and tempered at least for Ganon in the end, so I don't think we'll be seeing that cape.
I mean, if the worst case happens and they have to do Tyrone, the cape can come into play.
Yeah, that's a really fun little minor exploit. I love that. If you're invisible with the cape and you grab a wall, your magic just stops going down.
And it looks like Lucian has temporarily forgotten that Skullwoods is a thing that exists. Meaning he's going to be delayed until he finds Bombos.
Yep. As well as being delayed on mirror checks. He's going to check a lot of locations and then head over to Skull Woods, get Bombos and Mirror, and have to track over his own path.
Yeah, which never feels good.
Yep. Finding Mirror late can be it can be real disappointing. It can be. Zeruvian here pushing. Oh, he doesn't have Fire Rod because it's buried deep in Ice Palace.
Yep.
He has to do this puzzle as intended.
The very, very, very slow way.
Yep. It does feel kind of nice though.
Oh, and the torch went out.
He's got it. There it is. It's always fun to see the animation of the room shaking in this room.
Oh, yeah. Kind of looks like a face, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And the face is screaming because it's shaking.
Homemade beer is on his way to the bow. That's going to feel pretty good when he finds that.
Oh, definitely.
Yep. We know that despite any of these racers' best efforts, they will not find a bow anywhere else because it's in Palace of Darkness, which you need the bow to get into.
Yep. Although, isn't the bow in front of the switch that you need the bow for? I don't remember. I don't remember the precise layout of Palace of Darkness, but it's theoretically possible that you can break the bow lock and get the bow.
Oh yeah, you could sequence break for it. Just logically, it's locked behind there. He can knock. Homemade Beer can knock out, some crystal dungeons. So he would have been putting off Palace of Darkness for a while, anyway, looking for that bow. Homemade sets up the scripted quick kill. Like clockwork, blind is gone. Zeruvian is on his way in to fight a very dangerous boss. This is Vitreous. Nice little refill there with the powder they've had since the beginning of the race.
Now, with the cape in his back pocket and tempered sword in his hand, this boss is not as bad as you might ordinarily think.
Nope, and that was a really good fight. He almost killed all the little eyeballs before the big one even shot a lightning bolt, known as a zero cycle. He almost got it, but yeah, he had that cape out just in case. Didn't need it. Barely used any of his health, killing all that stuff, killing all the little eyeballs. And then 8 arrows to finish off the big eyeball, and that's all she wrote.
Oh, we're seeing a door extension from Days Cloud. If you can trick the game into thinking that you are still in the door when you are just a couple pixels out, you can make the game boot you through that railing and save a little bit of time fiddling around, running around, trying to get out the normal way.
Yep, it's a great trick to pull off, especially in like a casual boot seed, because you do need the boots to do it. Homemade Beer making quick work of the back of Skull Woods.
And with luck, about to make the same quick work of Mothula.
Now, Mothula, unfortunately, if she decides to fly into these spikes... Ooh, good kill. If she decides to fly into the spikes and you hit her, for some reason, the spikes just negate any damage you're doing to her, but we didn't have to see that.
No, you didn't even get the sentence out of your mouth.
Nope. Good old 5-second moth. And 4 of those seconds are it getting up off the ground. Great dungeon, Homemade Beer. Great dungeon. Oh, Zeruvian in Ice Palace. With that Cane of Samaria in hand, we will get our first look at Icebreaker.
Yes. The room with the 2 blocks, the treasure chest, and the stairs leading down. We're going to see him push himself through the wall here.
Now, he didn't go and hit that button first. Am I right?
I don't
think he did.
seeing it. But as you saw, by manipulating the position of the Samaria block, he fooled the game into thinking that he was still in the door. And when you're in the door and you're heading out of the door, the game will push you away from the door until you're out of the door. I have said the word door too many times.
Yep. Hey, that tracks. It all made sense to me.
And the Samaria block acts to extend the amount of distance that the game thinks you're in the door state. So it will push you through anything in your path until you are out of what the game considers a door. And by adding the Samaria block to the door, you create a bridge between the door and that barrier, and so you get pushed through the barrier.
Yep. It's a nice little trick, and it cuts out a good portion of the dungeon. No more pesky bomb jump. Mm-hmm. Well, you still have to do it sometimes. And there are other bomb jumps in the dungeon that are sometimes required. Yeah, Zeruvian will be fine, I think.
Lucian. Oh, okay. It looked like he almost didn't quite get the Y pixel for the diver down, but he got it.
Oh, I didn't see it. Did he just move into it right at the last, on the last frame?
Yeah, he looked like he couldn't jump off the ledge there, but he eventually got it. I guess he just had to, wiggle a little bit.
I see. Well, good thing he got it. Dazed Cloud here. I like this a lot. We know that it's not going to pay off in a dramatic way for him, but reading the map and the seed and knowing that he can get those 2 red crystal dungeons out of the way and then come and check the Great Fairy for her 2 chests.
Yeah, this is a good logic reading play.
It is, but some health and some money.
Not gonna turn it down. What's he on? 15 hearts and red mail. There's not a whole lot standing in his way.
No, there is not. Zeruvian falling into the Cold Stare fight immediately sets off with that bombos. Whereas Homemade Beer had the Master Sword only for this fight, Zeruvian gets to beat him up with this Tempered Sword. Significantly faster fight. Also trapped a couple of them in the corner. Very nice. Now, he tried. So Zeruvian switched to his mirror, and he was trying to get out of there without having to watch this medallion animation, but nope, no such luck. You have to pick that up and listen to the fanfare. I think maybe in Hera, you can jump off after you get the item, and you don't have to pick up the medallion, you don't have to pick it up if you don't want to. The pendant, I mean. But, oh well. Lucian getting his flute. Oh, Zeruvian with the spin speed and the jukes. That was nice.
that was slick.
Homemade Beer getting bodied a little bit by Vitreous's little eyeballs. Says, no thank you, half magic cape. I am dashing right through all of your babies. Man, just like the beginning of the race, here coming to the middle end, our runners are all split up in different parts of Hyrule. Lucian's almost done. There we go. He has to wait out this animation. Even though there are no more little puffs on Argus, he's still doing the animation where they spin around. You have to wait for that to end. Yeah,
the game... it's a common refrain. The game is bad at doing multiple things at once, so the game waits for one thing to finish, even if it looks like there is no longer doing a thing.
Yep. Homemade Beer following Zeruvian. It seems like these two have been trailing each other this entire race, one just ahead of the other, back and forth. Dazed Cloud is going to be really happy at the end of his dungeon that he just entered. Now, that's really good strat. Homemade Beer, you walk a certain way in that skeleton room. There's 4 skeletons that are supposed to spawn, but if you just walk north and then walk west, you can force only 2 to spawn and kill them before they even show up. Their hitboxes show up before they do. He hits one with a pot and then sword beam the other. Very nice.
The other 2, I think one attempts to spawn on top of a pot and can't, and the other completely off screen.
Yep, one is like up on the wall, up on the door, and the other one is on the pot in the center of the room. That's correct. Dazed Cloud setting up his icebreaker. He got it. First try quick.
Very nice.
He even hesitated when he went into the pillar or the wall there for a little bit. He stopped and he was like, "Oh wait, I got it," and then he continued through. Wow, I did that fast. I'm sure he's thinking. Homemade beer. Watching his ammo capacity, he knows he's going to be going into Ganon's tower, not shortly, but pretty soon, and you will need arrows for the mimics to head up the tower.
And so, doing a thing that I don't see too terribly often, he's using the Cane of Burna and just machine gunning the Ormus Knights that way. That is not something I see very often.
Birna Armos is hilarious. My favorite thing about it is once you get to the red one, you just stand there. Oh no, Zeruvian getting wall mastered in the mummy torch room.
That is not what you like to see.
Yeah, it's not that far to get back, but it's just that time loss. It's always frustrating to get grabbed.
Although worse is getting 1.0 grabbed.
Yeah. 1.0 and vanilla, if you are falling in a pit, you can get hit by fireballs or grabbed by the Wallmaster. That was patched or fixed in versions that came out after that, such as like the North American version. You can't get hit falling in a pit. You
hate to see it.
Yeah, the worst instance of that is actually in Turtle Rock, which we're going to be seeing very soon. On the laser bridge, if you get shot with a laser that kills you on the same frame that you, the last frame and the same frame when you fall into a pit, the game completely crashes. Black screen music keeps playing and you can't do anything. It's a reset. Hard crash. It's very uncommon, but it happens to the best of us.
You absolutely hate to see it.
Yep. All right. Turtle Rock time. Oh, that's right. That's right, Ninja Tuna. If you have a fairy in a bottle when you do that terrible hard crash, the game gets very confused. Although some glitched speedrunners of the vanilla variety, they actually use that to their advantage, but that is for a different forum.
I've never seen a fairy revival keyed off a laser death crash.
Well, not off the laser one. That's just a big old mess. It's just the knowledge of knowing it has been put to use in other fancy, weird ways to break the game on purpose.
This game is very breakable.
Indeed. Zeruvian hot on Homemade Beer's tail. Some swagger there from Homemade Beer. Good old cane dash out of the room. Stops it at the exact right time. If you cane dash or cape dash through a transition, be it on the overworld or through a door, you just get stuck in the animation, just walking forward into a wall with your arm up in the air, and then you have to use the item again to cancel it. It's kind of silly, but it's just one of those little weird things. Nice room. Great chain chomp room from Homemade Beer.
The worst one I've seen is actually during a turn race. Poor guy died to Bob at his chest and then glitched the chest behind ice armor so one of its head flippers. Oh man.
Oh man, that sounds horrible.
I bet he was none too pleased with Link to the Past at that point in time.
All right, now I did not see if Homemade Beer has found the big key in the front of T-Rock. We'll know right here. No, he has not. If you already have the big key, you can just skip this chest by stealing that small key and heading on in, but nope. No such luck in the seat. Everybody will be opening up lava chest.
Absolutely livid. I believe it. It does appear that Lucian is experiencing minor technical difficulties at the moment.
That it looks like it. Though I do have to admit that is a really exciting shot to
Very
be frozen
exciting
on.
screen.
Yeah, it's very cool. All right, Daze Cloud, another crystal in his pocket. Man, these
All
guys are
he
just
needs is Turtle Rock.
yeah, they're just clearing these dungeons, man.
One
Homemade
after
beer with
another.
that Ice Palace play earlier before everybody. It didn't seem to give him that much of an edge, but definitely an edge. You could see it here in play.
Yeah, he's about maybe 30 something, 35 something seconds ahead of Zeruvian. And the bulk of the dungeon ahead of the Daze Cloud.
Yep. Now, I wonder what else is going to be on Laser Bridge. Well, they might not even need to go to it, depending on where these small keys are. Oh, he does have to. Yep, he has to. There will be a small key on Laser Bridge. Yeah.
There's nothing that well, Homemade Beer might want to find he might want to find the silvers, but he ain't gonna find them here.
No. Oh, I know there's nothing great here. Ooh, still going for the laser skips. It is a little bit faster, even though he has... Oh, no, he has beer out now. Just eat those lasers. Oh, hey. That was neat. He just went to the bottom, grabbed a small key. That's very weird. The routing for that room, and it worked really well. Good cane block placement for Homemade Beer. Hits both of those switches with one block. Oh. Okay. Here we go.
Into the Trinex fight. This fight can go either very well or very poorly.
Yep. He's going back door. Oh, missed the fire rod shot. It's really easy to just accidentally shoot it in a different cardinal direction than you're wanting to.
Yep. But he compensated for it.
Yep. He's got him. He has half magic. I wasn't worried for him at all. Now, common theme in A Link to the Past is boss fights are about 30% boss fight and 70% explosion. This one is...
certainly seems to be the case here.
Yeah. This is the most explosive. Hey, look at that. A red pot for his troubles. Right before heading into Ganon's tower. A little bit of safety. Little safety net there. I like that. What a nice seed. Zeruvian on Laser Bridge. Just casual stroll here. Ooh, got himself some arrows. Oh, shot in the back. Oh, he was almost fallen. Nice. That was really good with his quick swap, getting to hook shot quickly, and then freezing that red beetle. The thing is such a nuisance.
Beetles are one of the more annoying enemies.
Zeruvian with the single block double switch hit strat as well. Very clean. And our first runner on the stream has entered GP. How many chests do you think it's going to be? I think he's going to get a small key and a big key in these very first two. I hope that's what he gets. Aww.
Oh, no. Already dead. Oh, half of what you wanted. I'm going to say the big key is going to be in the firebar room.
Firebar room? Yeah. I don't see it there very often, but when I do, I'm like, oh, hey, that's nice. Usually I'm just going through the motions, just getting that one out of the way. Another small key. Okay. Good Trinex fight from Zeruvian there.
Eventually, I'm going to call Firebar Room and be right. It's going to happen.
Yeah, anytime somebody's like, oh, which ones do you think it's going to be? I always get two guesses. I'm just special like that. It's either the first chest or the second chest in that first right room. Oh.
Oh, my beer has bit the full loadout: red mail, mirror shield, and butter sword. He's got everything he could hope to want.
Yep. Well, almost.
Almost.
Because he got to avoid Palace of Darkness entirely, he does not have those silvers, unfortunately. But that shouldn't be an issue. Cool strat there. Throwing the boomerang and then switching to hook shot to hook straight through those switch pegs. And now Zeruvian has entered Ganon's Tower. Ooh, Zeruvian. Hot strats here, just going
Zeruvian
hard
just
left.
diving left. Okay.
Yep.
I respect it.
Yeah, they're sure they're like, you know, different preferred routes of different, you know, times and things like that and speeds, but really it's whatever you want to do. You can go hard right off the bat as well. Go straight to tile room, if you please. Which, let's hope it's not in tile room.
Feeling particularly insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a good gamble. If you're up against an opponent you know is very, very fast, a gamble for tile room, that could pay off.
Yes.
Ooh, Zeruvian is going east, or going to the right side of GT.
We'll see whose strat pays off.
Yep, Bob. Goodbye. Bob has been eaten. Okay, no Birna strats this time.
No, Birna and Ice, I can only imagine the lag that would cause.
Yep, very clean quick kill. Making sure to plug the last Armos twice before you kill all the others. That way he never turns red and you just kill him with that last shot. Woof.
Oh, Zeruvian found, while we were watching Homemade Beer take care of Ice Arm, but Zeruvian found the big key somewhere.
Yep. He edged out Homemade Beer with that GT play, with the key play. A couple of tricky rooms here for Zeruvian, which lead into another set of tricky rooms, commonly referred to as the Gauntlet. And then some refights, some light world mini boss. Yeah. Yep, there it is. Wow. Dazed Cloud heading to GT now. Ooh, Zeruvian, great fire rod and
that was a
hot
fantastic Gauntlet 1.
Oh, man, these horse heads.
Yeah, they can be kind of mean.
Clean. Nice sliding gold sword spin attack for that last red horse head.
That was kind of classy.
Yeah. A lot of swagger. Very fast. Very fast Gauntlet. Oh, he almost had the one cycle Land Molus 2. Almost. The second bow was locked in Pendant Palace of Darkness in the back, and you needed to get the bow from Thieves Town to even get in there, logically. You could have sequence broke to get the other bow from Pod without it, but nope. Okay. Ooh, Homemade Beer. Struggling with that red horse head. Once it gets out of your way, then the little fireball shooter and the Beamos, they just take turns slowing you down.
Yeah.
Dazed Cloud going hard right. I love this. Because, I mean, he's catching up to these guys.
Yep, he gives him a leg up.
Yeah. He seemed like he was a half a dungeon behind, and now he's going to be right behind them to head up the tower. Ooh, Zeruvian has everything he could possibly want, still opens that chest, maybe muscle memory. It's just kind of one of those rooms you just go in and your fingers do it for you. We'll know right here if he opens up this chest as well.
Well, silver arrows, you don't know where they are.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He could be hoping for... Oh, that's...
Nope, not quite.
You are totally right, yep. Seeing as Dazed and Lucian are the only two that we're watching here that have silvers. Okay, Aghanim 2. Practicing some geometry and this is
Trigonometry wizard.
Oh, yeah. Telemetry with the sword. I got nothing. Very cool fight.
That was well fought.
Yeah. He is going to be going into the Ganon fight with a full tank of half magic and only missing a single heart, as well as having that red pot from killing Trinex. Shouldn't be a problem. But he cannot mess up this fight or he will lose his lead to homemade beer.
Yep. Without silver, he's going to have a significantly slower road, and he doesn't have a lot of time to play with.
Oh, wow. Homemade beer. Oh, that's unfortunate. If you hit the real Aghanim up into the north wall of his room, his energy ball just gets eaten by the wall. So he only got a single hit off of that one. He's getting bad patterns.
Yeah, this is not great. Not great news for homemade beer.
Zeruvian! tanking so many hits.
Wow,
he was down to 2.
Eat again, huh?
Yeah, it scared me. I gasped for air. He got hit by fire. His health disappeared so fast. Okay, homemade beer has put the wizard down. Zeruvian is almost into the final phase.
Yep, but Zeruvian doesn't have any more safety, so it's all down to his execution.
Yep, shouldn't be a problem with half magic. Spam the lamp. This is the torch glitch. If you light the left one before the right one goes out, the right one never goes out. And without silvers, oh, that is very dangerous.
You have
without
to be
silvers,
very careful with fire bats, yeah.
Yeah. You have to spin Ganon when he blinks and disappears before his teleport. If you do it too early, while he's solid in a solid state, he will turn that white color, or I guess silver, for you to shoot him with silver arrows, which that's just a waste of time. Good fight so far. Really good fight so far. Okay.
There we go. A very, very nice fight from Zeruvian.
Homemade is almost into the...
with a race time GG time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 3 seconds.
Whoa! Very good time for this seed, considering some of the silly placement of progression. Namely that fire rod. Well, I guess the pearl as well, huh? Homemade is almost done, while Dazed Cloud chases the Ganon bat. You love to see it. Almost all of our racers on the Ganon fight at the same time, nearly within minutes of each other.
We are joined by Zeruvian. GG, how are you doing, sir?
GG, little clammy. It's kind of
for sure. So, do you mind if I spoil something for you, Zeruvian?
Oh, feel free.
You stole the lead with just your key routing.
Yeah, your key routing in Ganon's Tower was very good.
That's exciting.
And the only thing that you're missing is the silver arrows, which were buried in Bullocked Pod.
I was at that point. The way I was routing is the last place I was going to go was Pod. Just because of how much else opened up on a direct line. If you can full clear ice with an icebreaker and what you're looking for is there, then you don't have to spend as much time looking for it in Pod.
Yep. At the same time, it's entirely logical because you got the bow out of Thieves Town, which logically pulls you in that direction. So you ended up capitalizing by not going to Pod, even though it cost you a little bit of time.
So how many people were late to that ice rod? That's what I want to know.
Quite a lot. And we are joined by both Homemade Beer and D's Cloud.
GG's. Wow, this was really close.
Yeah, sure was.
Hey, GG's, bud.
GG's. I pretty sure I lost to GT Big Key routing.
That is generally what took it down. Zeruvian just had the primo routing play.
Yeah, very nice. Nicely done.
Thank you. GG, by the way.
Yeah, GG. Well done.
Of the three of you, Dage Cloud is the only one who managed to pull the silvers out of Pendant Pod.
Oh, nice.
Yay! Yay, full clearing the game.
Oh no.
I mean, I've got. Well, let me look real fast. I've got Helmasaur. I've got Spike Cave and Hera Basement. That's all I got. Yay!
Yay! You missed the 10 arrows in Hera Big Chest.
Ah, sweet.
Yeah.
I think last locating the Moon Pearl helped me in the end. I don't know if anyone else did Death Mountain before Zora, but I saw the sword in the book and was like, I know where the Moon Pearl is, but I'm gonna pretend like it's not there.
Yeah, that Moon Pearl was interesting, because it kind of escaped a couple of runners. I'm sure it escaped a couple of runners, not on the restream, and it kind of pulled you around and didn't really want you to go in the Dark World unless you found it.
Yeah, it felt bad for me because I didn't end up getting the book and sword on the Flipper Sphere, so I went up to the mountain and I was like, we're going to last locate Moon Pearl on Ether, aren't we?
Oh, so we did the same thing, it sounds like.
Yeah,
So-
it was too hard not to. I mean, the game gives you everything to go to Hera,
Yeah.
so that was my tempted play.
I take it
Yeah,
then
we
that
were
I was
talking
the
about
first
that too.
Moon Pearl then.
I don't recall. There's so many items I actually don't remember who was
It's like
first
my-
Moon Pearl.
my route right out of that was I took the flippers and I went straight up to the Zora area and I got book, I got
You got Book and Master Sword.
book and master sword almost immediately. Then I went to desert and then Kakariko up the mountain, and then I was like, if Moon Pearl's on this thing, I'm probably first to it, and sure enough, it was there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt
That felt bad. Like 4 mountain climbs this seed because of that or something. Like just
dang. I mean, I only had 2. I just decided, I decided that, even though it's obviously telling me, hey, the fire rod's in Ice Palace, why don't you go to Ice Palace? I'm like, I'm gonna clear everything else.
yeah.
And yeah, so I put off my go mode by probably a good 10 minutes just for fun.
I mean, yeah, it is fun. That's why we play the game, to have
Exactly.
We're being told by one of our trackers that Days was actually the first pearl.
Yeah, that's what I
That
thought.
makes
That
sense.
sounds
just-
about right.
I figured when I got it, I'm like, yeah, there's a good chance nobody else did that route. So
See, I tried something that made me feel bad. As I was going to go for the Houlihan with the flippers and do South Shore before Kakariko, and then I just fell in. So I said, "Screw it, we're just doing the cat."
Yeah, we commented
would've
on
been-
that. We saw you fall into the back of Escape and immediately save and quit, and we were like, he was probably trying to set up Houlihan.
Yeah, it sure was. And in this case, it actually burns me because I don't near last locate Merle if I get it.
Yeah. I ended up feeling so bad about Moon Pearl. Like, I had Mushroom and Bottle left, and I'm like, it's on Ether. I'm not gonna waste time just putting it off anymore. And once I grabbed it, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do Spike Cave now. Or no, what did I do? I don't remember. No, I did something. Dark Death. It doesn't matter. But when I went to the Dark World, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go CAC down south and just do that loop and make it to pod, see if I find a bow, see if I need other things. And then I'm like, well, I'll do Skullwoods first, even though it's a crystal. I'm like, oh look, a Mirren Bombos. That's a thing. I'm going to pretend like these are super important. And so I just did the north route instead and went straight to Ice Palace before touching any crystal dungeons in the Dark World.
Yep, and then it turned out to be super important.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a hot play. That's literally a hot play.
I only did it because I felt so behind after that Moon Pearl. If I just routed this kind of normally, I wouldn't have done that for sure.
Hey, good game, guys. Sorry about that. I'm
So-
back now.
Oh, hey. Yeah, so
Hey.
it ended up being the bow and Thieves Town Big Chest. That was my go mode of all things, if you can imagine that.
I believe it. I mean, if you're
I found
doing
Quake
everything
before
but
that, so
yeah, because you entered Village with the mirror, didn't you? Or no?
Yeah, because after I finished Ice Palace, I did Swamp. I did left side first, and then I said, Big Chest, you don't exist. And then I just routed into Village of Outcast from the south. And I did the Smiths. I didn't do Purple Chest, and I'm like, okay, I'll finish Village of Outcast, and if there's nothing there, finish up Skull Woods, and then make a choice. And bow is probably just in Pyramid Fairy or something silly, because at that point I had everything but a bow.
Well, it was certainly something silly. It just wasn't Pyramid Fairy silly.
I almost skipped Thieves Town to go straight for Pyramid Fairy, just kind of meaning, or to pod, one of the two. I'm like, every pendant dungeon's going to have one item, right?
Oh,
That's going
man.
to happen, right?
If you would have went to Pyramid Fairy, it definitely would have pushed you towards Pod after not finding the bow. Though you could have sequence broke Pod and then still found one anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought was going to happen.
It's
So
kinda-
where was the
kinda
bow?
neat.
Oh,
Back of
pod basement.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back of pod basement there.
Oh,
I
right.
thought I was doing the right thing when I opened up pod when I walked into pod with the bow, and I'm like, oh, it's bow locked. Sweet, I'm probably in the right place, and then got nothing, and I was just like, well, I hate you, game.
Yeah.
arrows in the first chest. So it always makes you feel like, oh, this is a good pendant dungeon. Nope.
So it was the fire rod for you then?
Yeah. It took me forever to find the stupid fire rod. I was just like, I was running around. I mean, I had everything done. I mean, I was getting to myself like, is this going to be one of those really funny seeds where fire rod's just sitting in the front of Turtle Rock? And I'm like, if it is, I'm completely okay with that. But
Yeah.
because nobody else is going to go up there the way that the seed played out in that way. So I'm like, well, I ended up ended up finally killing Cold Stare, seeing Fire Rod pop up, and immediately saving and quitting and just going like, I knew it, and I just didn't do it. So, whatever. It works. I got to run, guys, though. So GG's to everybody.
Hey, it was
good
good to
game.
have you, Days God. Thanks for racing.
GG,
That was fun. Yeah, and then when I saw the swamp layout, because I was thinking like, okay, this fire rod's kind of gross. Maybe that'll help me like make up time against other players who check too many things. And then when I went into swamp, I'm like, well, I found the compass. I'm gonna do left side first. I found the red cane. I'm like, okay, that's kind of gross too. I think there's a chance someone skips that. And then the way the items laid out in swamp, if you went to the back first, you were left with 3 items. I'm like, no one's skipping the red cane here. That's like not gonna get last location. If anything else will.
When you were going left side swamp, you only had 4 bombs, and you still diver down first try, but it was a little sketchy.
Yeah, that Stalfos was right up on my junk.
Yeah, it sure was. But first tried it, no problem, and it's kind of cute and kind of poetic how it just gives you some aria, so you don't have to do the other diver down with bombs. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's funny too, because when I was going to the back, I'm like, well, I have to do another bomb diver down. I'm like, wait, no, I don't. I have Samari now. This is cool. So, Zeruvian, I'm curious, how did you route GT? Because I did Hope Room full left.
I did what is known as DN.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Key on the torch, another key. I don't want to leave Hope Room in case the big key's there. I've been burned by that before. So instead of going hard left, I veered right, and I didn't even, not having silvers, I didn't even check the 4th chest and compass room. I just said, okay, we're going.
Yeah, makes sense. Grab that. I didn't grab the stuff on the way up. I'm like, yeah, I missed silver somewhere. I'm not even going to worry about it.
Well, I tried for it, but I was like, I bet you they're in pod. Sure enough.
Sure enough.
Right, yeah. Bowlock bow, that never happens, right?
Oh, no, never. Why would you ever have a bowlock bow, sword lock sword, heck, even bomb lock bombs, whatever.
Pearl locked behind Book and Master Sword, which were both in Zora's domain. That's fun.
Flippers were the key to the early game in this seed.
Yeah,
Big time.
The whole game, because Flippers plus Bombos and Titan's Mitts gave you your Fire Rod as well.
Which was, I would imagine, everyone's go mode.
Yeah, it was very silly. Zeruvian, during your Ganon fight, there was a part where I swallowed air because I got so scared. Your health disappeared. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I may have been attracted to flame for a moment, and don't make jokes about me being a moth.
It genuinely scared me.
I went from, 11 to 2 or something like that.
Yeah, instantly.
Wow. Oh, you didn't get the red mail then?
No, where was red mail?
Which, I think there was one in Bombable Hut.
Yeah, Brewer and... Where was the other
Brewer
one?
and Ice Rod Cave, I believe.
Oh,
Yep.
I never went back to Ice Rod.
Oh, Ice Rod Cave.
I pulled the brakes hard on Ice Rod Cave, and I said, you know what? This is probably going to be a location we're never going back to. Not even once.
I think Homemade went straight to Ice Rod Cave, like right at the beginning of the game.
Yep.
With the flippers, you just portaled there or something. Really cool routing. Somebody did, I swear.
I don't remember if I did that.
I swear somebody, one of you guys, right at the very beginning, as soon as you leave left Sanctuary, jumped in the portal and it was like the first check. I don't know, it was very silly.
Oh, that's a cool route. Yeah, I don't think that was me, but I like that route.
It was ages ago, so I don't know. Great race, you guys.
Yeah, this seed felt like it took about 6 hours. We just did not stop once it started.
Yeah, you guys, your paths diverted from the beginning, and then around the center, you started, covering each other's tracks sort of thing, high-fiving, little stuff like that. But then by the end, you were also just all scattered everywhere, doing different things. It was very fun to watch. Very good race to watch.
I do love it.
I'm thinking, I'm kind of looking at this, and we had very similar endgame items and stuff. I thought I had a blue goo going up the mountain. I'm like, I'll be fine. I'm like, oh, I don't, but that's fine. We'll be fine, right?
Oh yeah, Trinex will give you a red pot. It'll be okay.
But this one looks like it'd be fun to watch back. I'm kind of excited to actually watch this one back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You
I love
definitely
seeing
should.
a diversion path race is a lot of fun to see where someone might have thought a little bit or entirely different than you. You never know what could come of that.
Sometimes you'll see just the slightest little routing maneuver or routing tech, and you're like, oh, that's only 10 seconds, but I'm stealing that. I'm doing that every time from now on.
Did you have any of those that you saw besides the Ice Rod Cave?
Not in this race. I don't believe so. Because you guys all routed really clean. You didn't really have a lot of options other than... well, no. You all got mirrored pretty early. So you got to bundle a lot of things. One of you guys did bundle King's Tomb and the Mushroom Check at the same time. That's really nice. Whenever you have flippers, you just leave King's Tomb, jump straight into the river, and turn in the mushroom. It wasn't for anything, but that's good routing.
Yeah, I think at one point when I found the mirror, I did Graveyard Ledge, Mushroom, Catfish, because I was like, screw these checks. If there's something there, I don't want it to be the last location. And I'm going to Ice Palace anyway.
Yep. Which,
I know.
Yep, that works.
Yeah, I know it wasn't me because I chased the mushroom instantly.
I almost did, but I was like, I just knew it was at Ether. I'm like, it's at Ether. I mean, it's at freaking Ether, so I'm not going to even chase the mushroom here.
Oh,
I messed up by not grabbing the book early, so I was like, all right, it's fine.
I am curious, how likely were you guys to head into Aghanim? Like, did you even think about it early on? Because it seemed like the seed was pushing you there with Master Sword and Lamp. Right off the bat.
Well, okay, so one of the things that I always pay attention to in a standard start is the escape items specifically. Like, there's the start, the boots and whatever, and casual boots, but like in the escape, we got, I think, flippers, lamp, and a glove or something like that.
Flippers, lamp, and a glove, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, and then that's most of the mountain plus the sword checks. Well, not most of. Like, once we got the hook shot, it was most of the mountain plus the sword checks, and then the hammer. But the fact that the flippers were there, I'm like, whatever's behind the flippers is probably the answer.
You were not wrong.
So with the book and then the other sword, I realized it was also giving us access to Ether Tablet. I'm like, well, it's probably not Aga. If I had a mirror, I would have maybe considered it, but then that would have been a pretty big gamble at that point.
Yeah. It would, it would have been the wrong gamble, but every time I see that, it makes me think, oh, this is going to give me a couple-minute lead over everybody, because Pearl's going to be on the pyramid. I just know it.
Yeah, totally.
It is pretty often, but you're right. You also had like just hammer and glove. Having those two together, I don't want to leave Light World without the Pearl, or I don't want to leave Light World without checking everything first.
That's actually why I did Hera Basement, because I was like, I don't have a Moon Pearl, and if it's up here, I'm really, boning myself pretty bad if I don't grab it. And then, well, it was up there. I just didn't have the other things.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the worst thing that could ever happen if you end up Herapotting and you leave a vanilla pearl. You're kicking yourself until the next week if you do that.
So I'm guessing everyone just got the ice rod on the first trip up, because that was pretty funny. I'm like, ooh, ice rod. Oh, oh wait, no, everyone's just going to get this, aren't they?
Yep. I gotta tell you guys, I gotta admit it, I was hoping that Spike Cave would have something super important and you guys would just get put off by it and not want to do it. It was garbage, but I was hoping for it just because the seed looked like it was going to have something in there with the half magic and stuff.
Yeah, I felt that way too. I think that's what it was. I remember now. As soon as I got the Moon Pearl or last location, and I went straight to Spike Cave. I'm like, hey, if there's a fire rod in here and I have ether for TR or something, and then the rest of the progressions in TR, like, I'm golden. But of course, there was nothing there or anywhere really. Yeah,
that perfect mountain run where you could just knock out everything in one go. That is really nice.
Oh, you could have if you did it right, but 4 trips up.
Yeah, it's better than climbing the mountain 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit. Like, if you didn't have the book on your initial climb, or if you didn't have the book or Master Sword on your initial climb to Hera, when do you route the Ether Tablet back in? Because we were commenting about orphan checks, and I can see Ether getting orphaned quite a bit if you don't have what you need for it.
I don't think you really can.
Yeah, go ahead.
All I had left at that point was Ice Rod Cave, which I was never going back to, Ether, or climbing for the ever so lovely meme on Pyramid, which nobody was willing to do until you check everything at that point with all, as soon as I got that book and that Master Sword, I'm like, watch it be in either desert or on ether. And what do you know? It's hard to get back up there unless you can combine it with like a spike cave, or if you haven't already done Hera or something of that nature. It was a hard call to make at any point.
Yeah, knowing that you have to go the long way around to get up there, hook, shot, and hammer route up the mountain is just, it's a gross waste of time. But I mean, that pearl, man, ether tablet, that's fun. That was a fun seed.
Do you three have
That was cool.
any final thoughts about the seed? Things you wish to say to the random developers, maybe?
I actually really enjoyed the seed, honestly. Like it was a seed that gave you a lot of direction, honestly. It's like, of a lot of seeds I've played recently, there's some really terrible item in a really terrible place, and this seed kind of made it pretty easy to find everything, or at least tell you where to go next, in my opinion. The only thing that might have been a problem was a bow, but that was just on the way, so.
Yeah, all I can say is rule of fire.
Rule of fire, indeed.
Nice. Good game, guys. I think everybody's
Thanks
gonna.
for coming. Thanks
Yeah.
for restreams, and looks like Mr. Scruff is doing tracking here. I'm just looking at the
Mr. Scruff and Art Harrell.
and Art Harrell.
Two trackers
Thank you
today.
both for tracking, and
Yeah,
Claymore
nice.
729 and the OK guy. Thanks a lot for commenting this race.
Oh, of course. It was a delight.
I understand you two signed up as a pair. I can't wait to hear this one back.
Yeah,
We
Same.
did. Mhm.
We tried. I haven't done any casting in a while, but it's like riding a bike. It's a lot of fun.
Especially when you have a seat like this one.
Yeah, it like you guys, your diversions into different parts of Hyrule, it caused a little bit of grief at the beginning. I could not keep up with anything.
It gave us a lot to talk about, though. There
yeah.
was never a dull moment where he had nothing to say.
Nope. Somebody was always in a boss fight. Always. I swear.
Well, you got, what, 11, 12 to choose from, so I mean...
Yeah. Well, with like 23 people finishing in under 2 hours, I think it's safe to say that this was a good seed for everybody. Mean Pearl, mean Fire Rod, but good game, guys. Very good game.
GG's. Thanks. See you all next time. And GG's again, Zeruvian.
Yeah, GG beer. And
Always
thanks
great to
again.
race you.
Always a pleasure, my friend. A huge thank you to those at Speed Gaming to put this one on today.
And with talking about speed gaming, we do have speed gaming and speed gaming 2 through 6 as our channels. There's always something going on. If you want to watch a speed game, we've probably got something for you. Link to will be that Link to the Past or Super Metroid or Metroid Prime. We got the Metroid Prime tournament going on. I don't know if it's going on currently, but it was on SG3 a while ago. And we're going to be having speed gaming live soon, TM question mark. We're going to have a couple interesting modes for that as well.
Yep, lots of content. There's always different retro tournaments going on. Always a really great mixture of different speedrunning communities. Good amalgamation of skill and swagger. Great channels. All of these channels are really, really fun.
The Drossi in the chat is saying that qualifiers for Speed Gaming Live should start sometime in the back half of September. So, if that's something that you have wanted to do, consider joining the Discords, the relevant Discords, and joining the tournament. We always love to see new faces.
Nice. Well,
But
Claymore.
I think that's gonna about do it for us here in the booth. The OK guy, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, this was a lot of fun. Thanks for backing me up and keeping me straight on everything that was going on. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, and thank you, the OK Guy for backing me up. Thank you, Scruff Ninja Tuna and Arterial for keeping us honest, and thank you, the viewers, for watching. We would not be here doing this without you guys.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you later. See you in the next one for sure.